जम्मू आ गए, दिल्ली आ गए, अलग अलग जगह पे आ गए, और अभी सरकार उनको कह रही है कि फिर से हम
मेरी बात समझ गए कि सबके साथ मर्डर हो जाता है।
गुड इवनिंग वन एंड ऑल। आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे जम्मू एंड कश्मीर का जुडिशरी प्रीलिम्स पेपर 1। ठीक है, the very first question, India's first ever human space mission is known as A. The option A is correct. It is known as Gaganyaan. It is not Chandrayaan, it is not Mangalyaan, it is not Aryabhat, but it is option A. It is Gaganyaan. Question number 2, Integrated Air Defense Weapon System. It was launched from Sriharikota, is a multi-layered air defense system, was launched by DRDO, comprises an indigenous quick reaction surface to air missile. So in question number 2, option third is actually correct. So option 1, 2nd and 4 are incorrect. So Integrated Air Defense Weapon System was launched by the DRDO. Question number 3. Now we have the venue of the SCO summits, right? And we have to match it against the year of the summit. Now Samarkand, it was held in 2022. New Delhi, it was 2023. Astana, it was in 2024. And Tianjin, it was 2025. So option D is the correct option for question number 3. How many times has India won the Asia Cup cricket since its beginning in 1984? For answer for question number 4, the correct option is A, is B. It is actually 8 times. कल ही इंडिया ने ये मैच 9 टाइम जीता है, और इसमें हमसे पूछा गया है कि 1984 से कितनी बार हम जीते हैं, तो इट्स बीन 8 टाइम्स। कल हमने 9th टाइम एशिया कप जो है वो जीता है। इट वाज हेल्ड इन दुबई। ठीक है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 5, who was the 51st CGI of the Supreme Court of India? So Sanjeev Khanna was the 51st Chief Justice of Supreme Court of India. Question number 6, Prime Minister Jan Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. It focuses exclusively on agriculture and allied sectors. It covers 100 districts, is modeled on the aspirational district program, and was introduced in 2024. So the correct option for question number 6 is A. It focuses exclusively on agriculture and allied sectors. It covers 100 districts, is modeled on the aspirational district program. So option A is the one. It was not introduced in 2024. So among this, 3 are the correct options and 4th one is the wrong option. So option A is being correct. Now the term extended fund facility is being related to which of the following financial institutions? So for question number 7, the extended fund facility is being related to the IMF, International Monetary Fund. So option D is correct option. Question number 8, match the following novels with their authors. So we are being given certain novels and we be given certain authors. So for question number 8, Gora is actually written by Rabindranath Tagore. Malapali, it's Unava Lakshmi Narayan. Then Kanthapura is Raja Rao, and Karma Bhumi is Munshi Premchand. So for question number 8, the correct option is B. B is the correct option. Freedom of press was officially introduced in India during the Governor Generalship of. So we are given 4 Governor Generals. So it was actually launched during the tenure of Charles Metcalfe. So freedom of press was introduced during the reign of Charles Metcalfe. Question number 10. IPC stands for Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. IPCC. Question number 11. The standard meridian of India is. So for question number 11, the correct option is 82 degree 30 east. 82 degree 30 east. So option A is the correct option. Now Great Barrier Reef is present in Australia. So D is the correct option. So it is one of the largest barrier reef which is actually spanning over an area of about 2000 kilometers. Now we have question number 13 in which we have to match the legal maxim with the meaning. Res judicata is actually a matter already adjudged. Caveat emptor is let the buyer beware. Uberema fight is utmost good faith, and adjusdum generis is of the same kind. So for question number 13, we have the correct option as B. So B is the correct option. Which of the following provisions of the Constitution of India provides for special officer for linguistic minorities? So question number 14, the correct option is D. It's 350B, which provides for the special officer for linguistic minorities. Then we have question number 15, in which there is a case title and we have to match it with this. Unni Krishna JP versus State of Andhra Pradesh is right to education. Huznaira Khatun versus State of Bihar is right to free legal aid. Oliga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation, right to livelihood, and Parmanand Katara versus Union of India is right to medical care. So the correct option for question number 15 is A. Question number 16. Which of the following statements are incorrect? A person shall not be qualified for appointment as judge of the High Court unless he has a judicial office in the territory of India for at least 7 years. Judges of the High Court shall be appointed by the governor of their respective state. High courts have the power of superintendence over any tribunal constituted under any law relating to the armed forces. And if a question arises as to the age of the judge of the High Court, the same shall be decided by the Chief Justice of India and his decision shall be final. So we have to choose the correct option. Which of the following are incorrect? So for question number 16, option A, all 4 are actually incorrect. So option A is the correct option. Question number 16, we have to match list with list 2. Article 18 is abolition of titles. Article 23, prohibition of forced labor. Article 17, abolition of untouchability. And 24, prohibition of employment of children in factories. So for question number 17, the correct option is D. Which constitutional amendment introduced reservation of 1/3 of the seats in the Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies and the legislative assembly of the NCT of Delhi for women? So for question number 18, the correct option is D. The Constitution 106th Amendment Act. Which of the following is not a subject in the state list of the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India? So for question number 19, the correct option is B. Pilgrimages to the places outside India is not a subject in the state list of the 7th schedule. Then question number 20, we have the list 1 and list 2. Now 8th schedule basically deals with languages. 11th schedule deals with the powers, authority and responsibility of the panchayats. 12th schedule deals with the power, authority and responsibility of the municipalities. And the 4th schedule deals with the allocations of the seat in the Council of States. So for question number 20, the correct option is B. Then we have question number 21. For question number 21, we have the correct option as State of Kerala versus Kajit. For this, we have C. Permissible for State of Kerala versus Kajit is legislators' privileges under Article 194 of the Constitution do not extend to acts of public property destruction. State of Punjab versus Principal Secretary to the Governor of Punjab. Governor cannot withhold action indefinitely on the bills which have been passed by the state legislature. So, for second, we have first as the right option. Then Property Owners Association versus State of Maharashtra. We have not all private property constitutes material resource of the community in Article 39B and C to be acquired and redistributed by the state. Then State of Punjab versus Davinder Singh. It is fourth. Is third, permissible for state to subclassify scheduled caste when providing reservation. So for question number 21, the correct option is C. Which of the following is incorrect? For question number 22, the governor shall hold the office during the pleasure of the president. It is the correct option. The governor of the state shall have the power to grant pardons. It's also correct. Every governor before entering upon his office shall make and subscribe in presence of the CGI of India an oath. The governor shall be appointed by the president by warrant under his hand and seal. A, B and D are correct. So C is the incorrect option. Which article of the Constitution the Supreme Court have the power to review any judgment pronounced by it? So review jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is granted under Article 137. So for question number 23, the correct option is B. Which of the following is not law under Article 13 of the Constitution of India? Custom or usage, bylaws of a statutory body, bylaws of a cooperative society, and ordinances issued by the president. So for question number 24, the correct option is C. Bylaws of the cooperative society are not being included. Rest, custom is included, bylaws of statutory body is included, and ordinances by president are actually included under Article 13 of the Constitution. Now an ordinance promulgated under Article 1 to 3 of the Constitution shall be laid before both the houses of the Parliament. and shall cease to operate at the expiration of dash from the reassembly of the parliament. So isme for question number 25 the correct option is C. 6 months ke liye from the reassembly of the parliament, it has to be laid before both the houses of the parliament within 6 weeks. Question number 26. According to Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners Act 2023, who are the members of the selection committee that recommends the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner and the election commissioners to the President of India? So for question number 26, the correct option is B. It's the Prime Minister, the Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, and a Union Cabinet Minister nominated by the Prime Minister. So this is actually the hierarchy which is actually followed while we are actually electing the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners. Question number 27. Now it's a match the following question. So 42nd amendment actually, it is actually introduction of fundamental duties. 61st amendment is lowering of the voting age. 86th amendment is actually right to education, and 44th amendment, right of the property, was being removed as a fundamental right. So for question number 27, the correct option is A. Then we have an assertion reason question, question number 28. The President of India can declare a national emergency. Reason, the President can do this on their own discretion. So for question number 28, the correct option is C. A is true. The President can declare a national emergency, but the President cannot do this on its own discretion. It's usually basically forwarded by the governor that yes, you should be imposing an emergency in that particular emergency in that state and in that place. So it is basically a letter which is being forwarded by the governor to the President. So based on that, he'll be taking an action, he or she'll be taking an action. So the President, he or she doesn't do this on their own discretion, right? Question number 29. Which of the following is not a fundamental duty under Article 51A of the Constitution of India? So question number 29, we have to respect the national flag and national anthem. It's very much a fundamental duty. To render the national service when called upon to do so, it's again a fundamental duty. To safeguard the public property and to abjure violence, it's again a fundamental duty. To secure just and humane conditions of work, it is not a fundamental duty actually, it's actually a DPSP, it's actually a directive principles of state policy. So 3 options are being correct. So the 4th option is not a fundamental duty under Article 51A. Now question number 30, the total number of ministries including the Prime Minister in the Council of Ministers shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members of the House of the People. So for question number 30, the correct option is A, 15. Which of the following is actually incorrect? So for question number 31, the Council of State shall consist of 12 members to be nominated by the President and not more than 238 representatives of the states and the UTs. It's a correct option. The House of the People shall not consist of more than 530 members chosen by the direct elections from territorial constituencies in the state and not more than 20 members to represent the UTs. The House of the People, unless sooner dissolved, shall continue for 5 years from the date appointed for the first meeting. So A, B and C are being correct. A person shall not be qualified to be chosen to fill a seat in the Council of States unless he is not less than 30 years. 35 nahi hota Council of States ke liye. For Council of States it's actually 30 years and for the House of People Lok Sabha ke liye it's 25 years. So this is actually the wrong option. So D is actually the incorrect option. Question number 32. It's again an assertion reason question. So the right of freedom of speech and expression is not an absolute right. Yes, it's not an absolute right because there are certain inbuilt reasonable restrictions which are being imposed on this freedom of speech and expression. So it's a correct option. And the state can impose absolute restrictions on this right on the grounds of public order, decency and morality. So which of the following statements are being correct? So for question number 32, the correct option is A is actually true and the reason is actually false. So C is the correct option. Now, in which of the following Supreme case was a conservation of the critically endangered Great Indian Bustard was being addressed through a writ petition filed under Article 32, invoking Article 21 while recognizing the broader implication of climate change and environmental protection under its scope. So it was actually M.K. Ranjit Singh versus Union of India. It was actually last year this judgment was being pronounced regarding the Great Indian Bustard because it was actually destroying and it was actually endangering those Great Indian Bustards. So M.K. Ranjit Singh versus Union of India is the correct option. Question number 34. The Vice President is being elected by an electoral college which consists of members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Both elected and nominated. Yes, it's correct. In the case of death, removal, or resignation of the vice president, the president can function as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. No, the president doesn't function over that. And so A is the correct option, but R is not the correct option. Question number 35. Under the Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam 2023, the doctrine of estoppel basically applies to. The doctrine of applies to both civil and criminal proceedings. Question number 36. Under section 4 of the BSA 2023, which of the following does not qualify as a fact? So for question number 36, the correct option is the mere existence of a legal presumption. So it does not qualify as a fact. Question number 37. As per section 65(4) of the BSA 2023, an electronic record is admissible. An electronic record is basically admissible if it's being accompanied by a certificate which is actually detailing the source and authenticity. So B is the correct option. Under section 108 of the Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam 2023, the burden of proving that a person is not on the sound mind lies upon. So for question number 38, the correct option is B, the person claiming unsoundness or the one asserting it. Under section 157 of the Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam 2023, a party may cross-examine their own witness. The party may actually cross-examine their own witness only with the permission of the court. In Pakala Narayana Swamy versus Emperor 1939, the Privy Council gave a broad interpretation of dying declaration. Under which section of the BSA 2023 is the principle now applicable? So for question number 40, the correct option is A. It is applicable under section 26. In the earlier Indian Evidence Act, it was section 32, which was actually related to the dying declaration, but under BSA 2023, it's being replaced by section 26. Question number 41. In Ziauddin Burhanuddin Bukhari versus Brijmohan Ramdas Mehra, the Supreme Court dealt with the proof of speeches. Under Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam 2023, such audio-video records must be certified under. So they must be actually certified under section 63(4). So C is the correct option. Question number 48. In Kushal Rao versus State of Bombay, the Supreme Court laid down the principles of the reliability of the dying declaration. Which of the following is not one of them? So among the various options which are being available, so B is the one. It must be corroborated in every case. No, there is no compulsion that it has to be corroborated in every case, and so B is the incorrect option. In Tukaram versus State of Maharashtra, known as Mathura rape case, the importance of consent and its proof was highlighted. Under BSA, which provision creates a presumption of lack of consent in certain rape cases? So it's section 120. It creates a presumption for the lack of consent in certain rape cases. Question number 44. In State of Maharashtra versus Damu, the court held that discovery must be made on a confession that leads directly to a relevant fact. Which of the following is true under section 23(2) of the BSA 2023? So for question number 44, the correct option is B. Only the part leading to the discovery is actually admissible. The one which is actually ascertaining the discovery is admissible. Rest of the provisions or rest of the facts are not being admissible. Question number 45. If two or more accused make a joint disclosure statement while in the police custody, leading to the discovery of a fact, which is actually recovery of a weapon, which of the following best describes the admissibility of that statement? So for question number 45, the correct option is B. Only the parts of the statements which are attributable to each individual accused are admissible against that accused. Question number 46. In Datu Ram Rao Sakhare versus State of Maharashtra, the court ruled on child witness testimony. What are the key takeaways from this? So it's a case which is actually pertaining to the child witness testimony. So the takeaway from this judgment was basically a child's evidence is admissible if the court finds the child competent and truthful. So C is the correct option. Now, there are certain orders of examining a witness. We have cross-examination, we have examination of chief, we have re-examination, right? So there's typically a sequence which is actually followed. So under question number 47, we are given certain options, but here we have to choose the correct option. So the correct option is actually B. First, there is an examination in chief, there's a cross-examination, and again, there's a re-examination. So B is the correct option. Question number 48. If a party fails to produce a document which the law requires them to maintain like a register, the court may dismiss the case, it may order reinvestigation, it draws an adverse inference or allows the oral evidence to replace the document. So for question number 48, the correct option is C. So C is the correct option. It draws an adverse inference. Question number 49. A witness deposes in chief examination that he saw the accused with a knife, but in cross-examination says he's not sure if that was the accused. Can this witness be declared hostile? So for question number 49, the correct option is yes, if the party calling him seeks permission from the court. So B is the correct option. Question number 50. A person is accused of murder. During the trial, the prosecution wants to introduce a statement made by the deceased to her friend the day before her death saying, if anything happens to me, know that it was X. Which of the following best describe the evidentiary status of the statement? So for question number 50, it is inadmissible as hearsay, it is admissible as a dying declaration, it is inadmissible because it expresses suspicion and not cause of death, and it is admissible only if recorded by a magistrate. So for question number 50, the correct option is C. It is inadmissible because it expresses suspicion and it does not expresses the cause of death. Question number 51. A person sees a fight and tells a police officer at the scene, I saw X stab Y just now. The statement is recorded immediately. Can this statement be treated as substantive evidence during the trial? So for question number 51, the correct option is yes, as it is part of the same transaction. So whenever the facts, they are actually part of the same transaction, they can be recorded as a substantive evidence during the trial. So B is the correct option. A document is produced in court that appears to be 32 years old, bearing signatures of witness and a registered stamp. The party relying on it doesn't produce the scribe or the attesting witness. What is likely the position of law? So for question number 52, the position of law is basically the court may presume it was duly executed and authenticated, right? So C is the correct option. Now the limitation period for execution of a decree, not being a decree granting a perpetual injunction, is. So for question number 53, the correct option is B, 12 years from the date when the decree becomes enforceable. What is the period of limitation for filing a first appeal from a decree of a civil court? So for question number 54, the correct option is C, it's 90 days. Which should be following statements about registration of a will is actually correct. Yes, it should be registered within 4 months, should be registered within 3 years. There is no limitation for registration of a will, and it must be registered before the testator's death. So for question number 55, the correct option is C. There is no limitation for registration of a will. An application to set aside an ex parte decree under CPC must be filed within. It must be filed within 30 days. Consider the following statements regarding legal disability under the Legal Limitation Act 1963, and which of the following statements are correct. So for question number 57, the correct option is, when the person is affected by 2 legal disabilities, minor and insane, he may institute the same within the same period after one of the disabilities has ceased. But the disability continues up to the death of that person, his legal representatives may institute the suit or make the application within the same period after the death. Where a person with legal disability dies after the disability ceases, but within the period allowed to him, his legal representatives may institute the suit within the same period after the death. So actually, second and third are correct options. So B is the correct option among this. Question number 58. A suit to recover trust property from the LRs of the deceased trustee where the property was vested for a specific purpose has no period of limitation. Reason: Section 10 of the Limitation Act extends the exemption of limitation to the legal representatives of the trustee. So for question number 58, the correct option is C. Both A and R are correct, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Question number 59. Mr. X entered into a property transaction in 2010. In 2020, he discovered that the transaction was based on a fraudulent misrepresentation by the seller. However, it is later revealed that critical documents which would have been exposed the fraud were available in public records and could have been discovered by Mr. X with reasonable diligence by 2012. Under Section 17 of the Limitation Act, when would the period of limitation for a suit based on this fraud most likely to begin to run? So for question number 59, the correct option is C. 2012, when the fraud could have been discovered with reasonable diligence. According to Section 9 of the Limitation Act, under which specific circumstances does the running of the period of limitation for a suit to recover a debt gets suspended? So for question number 60, the correct option is D. When the letters of administration have been of the creditor have been granted to his debtor for the period the administration continues. Now there's a match the following question. Question number 61. Payment on account of debt or the interest on legatee is its limitation period to be computed for the time when the injury results. Letters of administration to the estate of the creditor have been granted to his debtor for the period the administration continues. Sorry, a payment on account of the debt or the interest on legatee is actually fresh period of limitation shall be computed from the period when the payment was made, right? For question number 2, the correct option is limitation for a suit to recover a debt gets suspended. Now, suits for compensation for acts not giving rise to a cause of action without specific injury is limitation period will be computed from the time when the injury results, and continuing breach of contract or continuing tort, it is actually fresh period of limitation begins to run at every moment of the commission. So D is the correct option for question number 61. If the servient tenement is held under a lease for the purpose of computing the prescriptive period under limitation 1963, the period during which the land was held by the lessee is excluded if. So for question number 62, the correct option is the reversioner resisted the enjoyment within 3 years after the determination of the lease. So for question number 62, the correct option is C. If a special or local law prescribes a period of limitation different from that prescribed by the Limitation Act, but does not expressly exclude the applications of Section 4 to 24 of the Limitation Act 1963, what is the consequence? So, for question number 63, the correct option is A. Section 4 to 24 of the Limitation Act 1963 would apply. Consider the following two statements. P says about Q's book. Q's book is indecent. Q must be a man of impure mind. Second, P says, I am not surprised that Q's book is indecent, for he is libertine, one who freely indulges in sensual pleasures and few morals. So for question number 64, which of the following is true for P's liability for the offense of defamation against Q? So for question number 64, the correct option is C. In second, only P shall be liable. So second is the correct option. Now community service means. Community service basically means the work which the court may order a convict to perform as a part of punishment that benefits the community, for which he shall not be entitled to any remuneration. Right? So first question number 65, the correct option is D. As per section 25 of the BNS 2023, what is the meaning of court? So according to BNS 2023, the judge's court is actually a judge which is empowered by law to act judicially. Question number 67, an accused was convicted and punished with rigorous imprisonment for 6 months. Out of 6 months, how long the court may sentence him to be kept in a solitary confinement? So for question number 67, the correct option is not exceeding 1 month. A is the correct option. Question number 68, consider the following statements about voluntary intoxication. Intention may be attributed to the accused depending upon the circumstances of the case. Degree of intoxication shall be irrelevant for deciding about the intention of the accused. Knowledge shall be attributable to the accused as an ordinary sober man. So for question number 68, the correct option is D. First and third are being correct, and degree of intoxication shall be irrelevant. No, it is very much relevant. So the correct options are actually first and third. So D is the correct option. Question number 69, under section 104 of BNS, the punishment for murder by a life convict may by life imprisonment. What does life imprisonment means? So life imprisonment basically means remainder of that person's natural life. So A is the correct option. Consider the following statement about an act of accused causing harm to a victim and done without the consent of the victim under section 30 of the BNS 2023. So for question number 70, the correct option is C. C is the correct option. It is not an offense if it is done in good faith for the benefit of the victim. Question number 71. To teach lesson to a minor boy with no lawful guardian, A compelled him to go from place P1 to P2. So A has committed the offense of. So question number 71, the correct option is abduction. So abduction में the consent of the minor is very much required, unlike kidnapping जिसमें कि consent is not being required, it's fully immaterial. But in case of abduction of a child, it is very much material, and the consent is very much applicable here. Now, A, the agent in good faith disobeys his principal Z direction and invests Z's money in some other shares. Z suffers loss on that account. So, what shall A be guilty of? So, A would be guilty of no offense. It's first and fourth. First of all, no offense, and Z may bring a civil action against A. So, question number 72, the correct option is A. When the judgment states it is doubtful to say as to which one of the several offenses specified in the judgment that the person is guilty, in that case, out of those several offenses, he shall be punished for the offense for which. So for question number 73, the correct option is B. The minimum punishment which has been prescribed by the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023. 7% threatened P to surrender his watch, taking him on gunpoint. P himself took out his watch and gave it to Q, one of those 7%. What is the offense he has committed? So question number 74, the correct option is they all committed dacoity, because dacoity kahan pe hoti hai? Whenever there are more than 4 persons, 5 persons actually, and here in this case there were 7 persons, so they have all committed dacoity. So C is the correct option. What shall be the most appropriate response to the statement? The offense of culpable for homicide under 106 of BNS shall be punished with an imprisonment of. So question number 75, the correct option is there is no offense of culpable homicide under 106 of the BNS 2023. Question number 76, under section 6 of the BNS 2023, for calculating fraction of terms of the punishment, life imprisonment shall be reckoned as equivalent to. So for question number 76, the correct option is C, imprisonment for 20 years. Question number 77, consider the following statements. Motive is generally an essential part of the definition of offense under BNS 2023. Intention is also an essential offense, part of the definition of offense. Mens rea is always required to be proved by prosecution, and negligence, depending upon degree, may be seen as knowledge and constitute mens rea. So for question number 77, it's A. It's only 4. So 4 is the correct option. Negligence may be seen as knowledge and constitute mens rea. Consider the following statements about the offense of giving false evidence under section 227 of the BNS 2023. Now, accused must be legally bound by oath. Accused must be legally bound by an express provision. Accused stated that which he knew to be false, and false evidence relate only to the oral statements. So for question number 78, the correct option is A. First, second and third are actually correct, and false evidence relate only to the oral statements. No, it is actually incorrect option. Question number 79, P, a foreigner sitting abroad, targets a computer network of Indian banks situated in Delhi and siphons rupees 10 crores. Which of the following is actually correct? So, question number 79, the correct option is A. Provisions of the BNS 2023 shall apply to the offense committed by P. Question number 80, P, a qualified psychologist in a state of depression, asks Q, a qualified doctor, to shoot him in his head. Q does that, as a result of which P dies. For what offense Q shall be liable of? So according to Q would be actually liable for culpable homicide not amounting to murder. So B is the correct option. Now P leaves his car parked on a highway in a manner obstructing the flow of traffic. P shall be liable for the offense of under BNS. So the offense that would be attracted would be under section 285 of the BNS 2023. A, being the joint owner of a horse with B, shot the horse intended to cause wrongful loss to the B. In this case, what is the offense committed by A? So according to this, the offense which is actually committed by A is actually mischief. So C is the correct option. Question number 83, the provisions relating to chapter 9, 11 and 12 under the BNS 2023 shall not apply to state of Nagaland and to tribal areas. Chapter 23 of the BNS 2023 does not deal with plea bargaining. The BNS 2023 received the assent of the President on 20th of December 2023, and the BNS 2023 bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha on 11th of August 2023 and later withdrawn for revision. So among the various options which are being given for question number 83, the correct option is first and fourth. It shall not apply to the state of Nagaland and to tribal areas, and the BNSS is actually came on 11th of August 2023. So D is the correct option. Question number 84. Which section of the BNSS 2023 provided that in no case the aggregate of the consecutive sentences passed against an accused shall exceed 20 years? So it is actually provided under section 25 of the BNSS 2023. So A is the correct option for question number 84. Any person aggrieved by the refusal on the part of the officer in charge of the police station to record the information referred to in subsection 1 of section 173 BNS 2023 may send the substance of such information in writing and by the post to the person. To whom are we supposed to send that? We are supposed to send to none of the above who are actually listed in the options, neither to the DSP, neither to the prosecutor or any police officer. So we are not supposed to give any information to the person who are actually mentioned here. So for question number 85, the correct option is D. Now, plea bargaining is actually applicable to offences other than the offences for which the punishment or death of an imprisonment for life or imprisonment for a term exceeding 7 years has been provided. So D is the correct option for 86. Now, which section deals with the appeal in case of an acquittal? So for question number 87, the correct option is B. Section 419 of the BNSS deals with the appeal in case of an acquittal. Now, question number 88, rule autrefois acquit and autrefois convict is contained in which provision of the BNSS 2023? So for question number 88, the correct option is C. Section 337 of the BNSS 2023 deals with of autrefois acquit and autrefois convict. These are actually the principles of self-incrimination, right? So it is actually there in the Constitution also, and here also it's there in the BNSS. 89. Consider the following statements about an order to pay compensation under section 395 of the BNSS 2023. So which of the following statements are being true? When the court passes a sentence with fine as a component, the amount of compensation, if any, to the victim may be paid wholly or partly from such fine. When court passes a sentence with fine as a component, the amount of compensation, if any, to the victim shall be distinct and separate from such fine. And when the court passes a sentence of which fine is not a component, it may still order the accused to pay compensation to the victim. So for question number 89, the correct option is C. First and third are being correct, and B is the incorrect option. Police had produced an accused from the police custody to the judicial magistrate for getting his confession recorded under 183 of the BNSS. Before his confession could be recorded, the accused stated that he was not willing to make any confession. Thereupon, the judicial magistrate sent him back in police custody for 2 days. What is true in these circumstances? So for question number 90, the correct option is A. Sending the accused back in police custody was an illegal order. Question number 91. For a criminal case instituted upon complaint and trial by the Court of Session, consider the following statements. Now, which of the following statements are being true? So, question number 91, the correct option is supply of the document to the accused is actually section 231 of the BNSS 2023, and commitment of a case to a Court of Session is actually section 232 of the BNSS 2023. So, A is the correct option for question number 91. 92. In a summons case, the investigation was not completed within 6 months from the date of arrest. Thereupon, the magistrate passed an order stopping further investigation. Consider the following statements. So, there are certain statements which are being given. So, which of the following are being true? So, for question number 92, the correct option is D. Only second, it was a legal order. As section 187, it empowers the magistrate to pass an order. So, option D is the correct option for question number 92. Now, question number 93. For the purpose of investigation, the document in custody of a postal authority may be required to be delivered to a particular person by the order of DM, CJM, Court of Session or the High Court. So, C is the correct option for question number 93. Question number 94. Consider the following statements about an FIR under 173 of the BNSS 2023. Section 181 of the BNSS shall not operate. It shall be read as evidence in the court even if the informant does not come in court, and if the information is being given by the accused himself to the police accepting his guilt, it cannot be registered as an FIR. So for question number 94, the correct option is C. Only one is the option which is actually correct. Under section 181 of the BNSS, 20 shall not operate upon it. So A is the correct option. Question number 95. Under section 351 of the BNSS, the court examines the accused for enabling him personally to explain away the case against him. Which of the following is the most appropriate about this examination? So question number 95, the correct option is B. Such examination may be done at any time, though it's mandatory to be conducted. So it may be done after examination of the prosecution witness and before starting of the examination of the defense witness. So B is the correct option for question number 95. Now, cheating is a compoundable offense as per section 359 of the BNSS. What is the legal position of the offense of conspiracy to cheat? It is not a compoundable, it is compoundable. It is compoundable only with the permission of the court, and it is compoundable only when the accused is a public servant. So for question number 96, the correct option is A. It is not compoundable. Which of the following are correctly matched as per the provisions of the BNSS 2023? So 97, we have public prosecutors under section 18 of the BNSS. Then APP is actually section 19 of the BNSS. Directorate of Prosecution is section 20 of the BNSS. And court by which offences are triable is actually section 21 of the BNSS. So option B is the correct option for question number 97. Under BNSS 2023, police custody of an accused can be granted in parts within the first 40 or 60 days of the judicial custody up to a total of 15 days. Then we have a problem. On October 2024, T, a resident of Lucknow, lures the victim N under the pretext of providing a smartphone and kidnaps N from the market in Lucknow. T then took her to Gorakhpur and wrongfully confined her in a small room for 3 days for ransom. T is arrested in Gorakhpur, and the police investigation reveals that the kidnapping and wrongful confinements are part of a single criminal transaction, as T's intent was to extort money from N's families and parents. So based upon this, we have a statement. Under the BNSS 2023, which court has the jurisdiction to try T for the offences of kidnapping and wrongful confinement? So for question number 99, the correct option is C. Either the Lucknow District Court in Lucknow or the Gorakhpur District Court, as both offences can be tried together within the jurisdiction over either offence. Then we have a match the following question, and that's the last question of this paper. Matching the list 1 with list 2. So for question number 100, we have right to default bail is Rakesh Paul versus State of Assam. Then arrest should not be automatic or routine. It's Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar. Then registration of FIR is mandatory if the information discloses a cognizable offense. It's Lalita Kumari versus Government of UP. And bail is the rule, jail is the exception, is State of Rajasthan versus Balchand alias Balia. So for the correct option for question number 100 is actually option A. So with this, we actually come to the end of the paper 1 of Jammu and Kashmir Prelims Judiciary Exam 2025. Thank you.
Subscribe for more content.